At the end of the day, it's all about the money. How can I get somebody to purchase my product?
You capture your voice, you capture your knowledge, and you capture your image, and then you can plug that into so many different revenue streams.
Now kids can monetize their name, image, and likeness. So it creates an entirely new category for the creator economy.
The barrier to entry for becoming a creator it's becoming a lot easier.
Creators and influencers, right? It's a big difference between the two, and a lot of people don't understand or recognize that, right?
You know, we're in this time around AI, which I think is probably the most significant technological advancement since the creation of the internet, right? And I think it's going to flood an already crowded creators market.
We have to go back to the basics of teaching people how to think and not telling them what to think.
Hey guys, how are we? Seems like they brought out a lot of Aussies out here, so it's good to see. So I'm very excited to be supporting the event, and Laurel and I have been friends for a long, long time. So when he was talking to me about the event and being in LA, I said, mate, you need a place to stay. You're staying with us, and I'd love to help out. So I'm pretty excited to talk to these panelists, some of which I've known for a while, and learn a bit more about the creator economy. So I think we all saw a little bit where the market was going, years ago with the way that the audience was heading, and some of the original platforms where people were consuming media and content were kind of dying out, and the newer platforms were taking over. So who would like to start off with maybe just giving us an idea of what they how would they actually describe the creator economy, and what actually is it as a start? Who wants to start, perhaps? Ryan?
Sure. Nice to meet all of you. Ryan here. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Hollow AI. Whoever already knows Hollow, we're the AI twin of you, a chatbot and a callbot, among other things. So, how I would define the creator economy, I would say it's split into two. One, it's split into how creators can monetize, whether that's through selling products, whether that's through brand partnerships, whether that's through monetizing across the spectrum. And then the second part is how brands can use creators to make money. So the economy is kind of split into two, on the creator side and on the brand side. Since we're in Tech Week, it's interesting to see how AI or in general, tech is playing a role in disrupting that industry. I know everyone has a lot to say about that, so I'm excited to pass it on. If you want, Will.
Yeah. Hello? Okay. Yeah, so I'm the founder and CEO of Outlandish. We mainly do TikTok. And I think, from my perspective, we do a lot of e-commerce, and helping creators to monetize through selling, through live streams and videos. So what I've seen in various different markets is the transition from essentially a key opinion leader to making money from doing advertising, getting exposure, to now we're helping them make money from actual sales through their content. What's the best ways to do that? Matchmaking with top sellers, getting them good deals on their products, teaching them how to do live stream. And essentially making what we call a key opinion seller in live streams, which I think in the next year or so is already happening, actually. Even a couple of weeks ago, we saw a creator sell $1.5 million in one live stream in the US market. And I think that's just going to grow. Yeah.
Yeah, you're spot on. The e-commerce market and live streaming is fairly big for us as well. We did a few of the bigger streams recently with Aiden Ross and Bob Menery and a couple of the big guys, and the money is pretty impressive. Jimmy, my old friend.
What I would like to, first of all, I'm Jimmy Thomas, CEO and Chief Content Officer of Crowder. the mobile platform that helps creators and businesses and brands and all that to be able to monetize in this creator economy. I would like to add to the point, like you say, in the creator economy, this $250 billion that they say, it's you have the actual creator, that's, a sector of it. You also have the actual platforms, right? And then you have the investors that invest in the platforms. And then you also have the people that consume, right? And so when you look at as a whole, when you say, where is this creator economy, going or what it's doing, it has four strong, sectors. Now the investment sector, dipped down a little bit, over the last couple of years, but in order, to have any kind of economy, things have to keep moving, right? So you got to have people that's creating this content, right? Which is always going to be the case because people have tools to be able to create. You're always going to have, you're going to need those tools, the platform, so someone is going to have to build that. So that's going to create an industry within itself. And then you're going to have people that have the need to have these creators to partnership with them to be able to move their brands and their products. So when I say also consumers, it's not just everyday people. You got companies, brands, and a lot of different people that's looking to say, hey, how can I get with a creator to make my product authentic and sell? Because in reality, what it is basically trying to figure out how, at the bottom line, at the end of the day, it's all about the money. How can I get somebody to purchase my product? Let me get this person. If this person can sell it better, I'll grab this person. If that person, whatever tool I need to do. And so that's what's pushing the economy, and it's only going to get bigger. I think what we're getting ready to start to see is that authenticity of seeing that, hey, from a influencer, or somebody that people trust, to be able to have that one-on-one relationship to be able to do that. So I'm looking at the market, and you're starting to see a lot of the creators now are becoming the brand. A lot of the creators are also becoming the platform. The creators are also, so the industry is shifting in that respect.
Yeah, exactly. We saw that happen with Kim Kardashian when she came out bigger than any major actress. It was, and she's now a billionaire. So, Lizzie, Jeff, probably the image of style. What are your thoughts?
Well, so hello everyone. I'm Lizzie Jeff. I'm a music artist, MC, and CEO of Zen and Kush Records. And I have created a platform that is, to serve as a space for melanated Black artists, Indigenous artists, creatives that are in the metaphysical wellness, healing space. And I feel like there's a huge open lane for the fusion of music and wellness lifestyle, and especially with all the new technology and the platforms. And so for me, I've been focused on, through my record label, through curating events, conscious spaces for artists to thrive. Now it's a matter of what's next? How do we take this beautiful product that we've created, this art, this music, this community, and take it to another level so more people have access to it? And so everything that I've built through Zen and Kush is rooted in community and having that authentic space. So we do have a very niche audience, but in my travels and touring and going around the world and just connecting with different people, we're out there. There's people that want to connect to that high vibration music and artistry and find that inspiration. And so I'm just happy to be here, to be in this space, to, be able to share where I'm at as an artist and learn about all the different ways and things, just around the possibilities of how especially independent music artists can take what they've built to another level to have, a better experience with, our music. Yeah.
Yes, and Russ, I'm curious to hear about yourself, having heard about some of the big artists that you've worked with. So you've seen on the music and the sports side of things, you've seen it all. So what are your thoughts?
Well, hey, how you guys doing? I'm Russell Rideau. I have almost 20 years of experience working through building with 4 of my friends a multicultural marketing agency called Cashmere Agency. Turned it from 5 guys in a shared office space to 200-person staff agency of record clients like Google, Amazon, and helping brands tell their stories and how to show up, and speak to communities of color, multicultural audiences. And from that, we spun out a talent management company called Stampede Management, just out of the opportunities that were showing up. And over that time frame, almost 2 decades, we worked with artists like Snoop Dogg and Busta Rhymes and YG, Ty Dolla $ign, Macy Gray. And I've been helping artists tell their stories for almost 2 decades. I have a new company called StampX Group, which is a creative and consultancy firm that's really focusing in the Renaissance era around amateur sports. A couple years ago, the legislation changed, and now kids can monetize their name, image, and likeness. So it creates an entirely new category for the creator economy, because now the river of wealth that is this multi-billion-dollar college sports economy are now being diverted into the hands of kids and families, right? And they're having to figure out how to show up authentically, because that's what moves the needle in the social media environment, but also, figuring out how to tell their stories in ways that don't cannibalize what their main thing is, which is sports and the scrutiny around college sports and the professionalism, and figuring out how they show up authentically. So that's a big focus with me these days, and that's something that seems to be really, a really big opportunity for kids and families, because of the massive fandom that is around college sports, and to be able to show up, and now they can do endorsement deals, now they can stand up their own IP and brands. It creates an amazing opportunity for them to really maximize, to start their lives, whether they go into the professional ranks or not, with having created their own brands, having really taken advantage of the opportunity and the marketing visibility from performing and doing really well. A lot of these kids are walking into 7-figure NIL deals and are able to, create investments. And if they do the right things, they can, be a lot further ahead in life before the legislation change. So,
yeah, this is the perfect time for them to be a little more business savvy and monetize their audience, right? It's funny you mentioned YG and Ty. We were having dinner a few weeks ago, and actually when I moved to LA 2019, we were doing YG's marketing. We were doing like $1 million drops for his 400 for the merch. And so, we saw where Kim Kardashian was, and then we're seeing, even some big actors. Will Smith is pretty good about doing a lot of the content now as well. So I guess the old actors, a lot of them are not doing it, like a Leo DiCaprio doesn't want to do social media. Some of them are adopting it, and we're seeing how popular it is with Kim K and all the other athletes and musicians. They have to have that, that data, the audience to be able to sell to, essentially. The Rock is a good example. So where do you guys see the future of content creation and creators mixing in with the traditional arts and the future, where it's clearly where the money is heading, right? Ryan?
So personally, where I see the future coming is that you capture your voice, you capture your knowledge, and you capture your image And then you can plug that into so many different revenue streams, whether it's TikTok shop like videos, it could be people chatting you up, people talking to you. I feel that's where the future is going. And like you said, some old actors, for example, they don't have the energy to get on social media and run that. But today you can set up a social presence easily in like one day with AI, you know? You can create your twin. I know this concept is a bit abstract for people, so I had prepared an AI of Benny. So I'd like to show it, and then just to kind of break the barrier of people understanding. I mean, would you mind? Sure, yes. All right. So this is our chatbot, callbot.
Founder of Entitled LA. How can I help you aspiring artists today?
So Benny, I mean, what you do in life, what does Entitled LA offer? I'm a creator, I'm here to make money with you.
G'day, great to hear you're keen to dive into the creator world. At Entitled LA, we focus on helping folks like yourself monetize your content through various channels like e-commerce, subscription platforms, and brand deals. We've got a crackerjack team that's worked with some top-notch influencers, so we're all about taking care of the business side, so you can focus on creating top-tier content.
Okay.
The magic happens.
Okay, that's cool.
A bit of a talker.
Oh, that's cool. So I have a Benny here. He's claiming to be the real Benny. I mean, he looks pretty real. Are you the real Benny, or is he?
Mate, you've stumbled upon an imposter. I assure you, I'm the real Benny Birdo, complete with the Aussie charm and all. If he's claiming otherwise, he might just be after my stash of Vegemite.
All right, thanks, Benny. So, yeah.
Cheers, mate.
I mean, yeah, and our twins speak like 30 languages, and it's a new way for you to make money with your twin. You can either charge brands to put ads, like, and your twin can talk about ads. So there's so many ways to make money with your AI twin, and this applies to businesses and creators. We've seen applications across the board. So I mean, yeah, that's where I see the future in twins.
No, that's a fairly good point. There is a lot of hacks with the marketing and ways to speed up the whole process. You know, we saw a big move with affiliate marketing. You know, people like Andrew Tate that were able to dominate the markets and get their names out there by using different techniques. So it's you have to stay ahead of the game, right? William, thoughts on the future of the creator economy?
Yeah, but that's insane. Like, that sounded very like his voice. So I think the barrier to entry for becoming a creator is it's becoming a lot easier. So even from what I'm seeing right now, a lot of the even top creators in just what I do mainly is like the e-commerce side, they're not even necessarily the biggest creators. They're the fastest moving creators that adopt technology the fastest. So, for example, I have there's one creator I work very closely with. She has only 500 followers, but she can very stably make $1,000 every hour in her live stream, just because she's very good at what she does and no one else is doing it. Bigger creators, they're very used to what they're already doing. They don't want to change it, but smaller ones are being more disruptive. And I think with better AI coming out and better tools coming out, whoever adopts it the fastest and has a loyal following is going to really, get a lot of opportunity from it. Alongside that, I think from a platform perspective, kind of what we touched on a little bit is how can they, because the platform obviously also wants to make money, if they can get better data on which creators are actually converting the highest, that's where the traffic's going to go. And we see this already in other markets outside the US. So it will almost be a different skill set, being able to sell compared to being an influencer. It will almost be a completely different category. So I think that's the direction it's going.
Yeah, I would agree. We've seen some big streams on, we've had streamers actually on Kick making huge money just with a kind of minimal audience. Yeah, Jimmy, the future.
So for me, the future, first of all, in order to see where the future is heading you, right, you got to kind of know the past. You got to kind of go back to the basics. The first thing when you think of this economy, you say creators and influencers, right? It's a big difference between the two, and a lot of people don't understand or recognize that, right? You can be a creator is someone that is creating for a purpose with a thought, to be able to have something to invoke an action or, to get a result. An influencer, right? I could go stand outside on the street, with no clothes on and get 60,000 people to look at the video that just happened, and all of a sudden people say, he's an influencer. Yes, I'm influencing a bunch of foolishness. So at the same time, you have to think about this when you say, where is the future going at? We have to actually know, as creators and influencers, you have to know your crowd, right? Who are you doing this and why are you doing it, right? It makes because think about it. They say technically it's 303 million registered creators, right? It's 86 million in the United States alone. So that means if you think about it, 1 out of every 4 people is claiming to be a creator, right? So now think about any other industry. If I said 1 out of every 4 person was a doctor, 1 out of every 4 person was a football player, 1 out of that would be insane, right? So it's already at the point where it's just taking off and it's already saturated, right? With a lot of things that you have to, when you look at people that say, oh, I'm a creator, when you look at the numbers and these statistics and they say, 68% of full-time creators only make $1,000 annually, right? Now, that's you got 1 to 2% that makes over 850,000, annually. And so when you, as an economy, you start to look at these things. And so when I see the future, the biggest thing is watching the trend of being able to people that's actually doing the creative and doing this for a purpose, figuring out how do I control what I'm doing. And what I mean by that is, like you say, the IP, the ownership, being able to, the work that you do, the time and effort that you put in doing this to reap the benefits from it. So when you say, what is the future? The market cap has no limit to it, right? Because as long as people create content, people are going to consume content. As long as people build products, people are going to sell these products. So nobody can say there's a cap or the industry is going to grow this big or not grow or whatnot. But the thing is how that happens and who gets to control that. And so I think the future is going to move from people doing things and prostituting themselves out to becoming the actual owners of this IP and owner of their relationship with the brands and the people that they deal with to be able to generate the kind of revenue that they need to be or to make. So that's where I see the future going.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, it's interesting times ahead. 1 and 4 is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Lizzie, Jeff.
Same question.
Yeah.
Hearing you speak, it makes me think about Nipsey and what he was doing. I feel like he was so far ahead of his time with what he was doing when he set up, the Marathon shop in LA, on Crenshaw, and people could go in. He's a music artist, he's a community leader, he has his merch and all the different business ventures that he was doing. And so he had his headquarters where people could pull up, support him. And when they went to purchase the merch, they could scan the tag, it'll tell you the price, but it'll lead you to music. It was very, ahead of his time. And so I started to see a lot of artists tune into that model, and, ownership is important. And that's something for me. The work that I do, it crosses between the music space as well as the cannabis space. And then there's that wellness. So somehow I've been able to merge my passion for all three and create something really beautiful. And so as far as what I see for the future, I see artists like me, I see independent artists, Black women artists that have something to say, having, a space to thrive, to be seen, to be heard. And right now, many of us are struggling with the music platforms that exist. I believe that many of those platforms are very antiquated in how they, as new as they are, they're very antiquated in, just how they do business with the artists. And so I'm very thankful for those platforms that exist, because a lot of times artists give up, being able to make a decent living on their artistry in exchange for having the exposure and the worldwide expansion. For example, one of my songs called Goddess Code, it recently surpassed 10 million streams worldwide. Now, for me as an independent artist, that's a celebration. That's no easy feat. And I'm indie, I'm out here, I'm on the ground, I'm in the streets, I'm in a community. I have a social media presence, an online presence, but also, a real presence in the real community. And so for me, I believe that the future looks like, how do we fuse, how do we bridge the gap between the community, the real art, the real artists that are really telling quality stories, and bring them to a larger platform to connect, to have more opportunities, especially artists that own their music, that own their brand. And so I see it working out. I see the music platforms, either they'll dissolve or they'll recognize that they have to, show up and catch up. I feel like the music industry is behind in a lot of ways, especially when it comes to artists and songwriters and everybody that's not a big A-list music artist. And so I'm hopeful.
Yeah. No, that speaks really well to me, because Jimmy and I were just talking about that outside, that, the Spotify numbers, they're not getting paid, they're not making their money, and the voice is now, individuals, the artists have the voice now, so they're going to, have more power, which is great. And we spoke about authenticity as well, so speaking of Nips, that's pretty real. Russ, the future, what's the crystal ball for the future? Say.
Well, I think, we're in this time around AI, which I think is the probably most significant technological advancement since the creation of the internet, right? And I think it's going to flood an already crowded creators market. And to Jeff's point, rest in peace, Nipsey, he was a really good friend of mine, but I think it's going back to community. And I think it has to be rooted in something real, or else people aren't going to be able to decipher because of the AI bots or all of the, things that are out there where people are creating content. Oh, sorry. But they're creating content in ways that you don't know if it's a real photo or a real image or their real voice. If it's not grounded and rooted in something community and real, which Nipsey was an ambassador of and which he led the charge for, he created CDs and encouraged people, created a Proud to Pay campaign and charged people $100 to buy it if they wanted to support real art in a meaningful way. And I think we're going to have sort of that reversed effect, that the ones that cut through are the ones that are grounded and rooted, and they'll be able to take their audiences and translate it and be able to, cut through a lot of noise. Because it's going to be already a crowded market, and it's going to be flooded because the technology is going to make it easier to create content and put out there. And then people are going to be really trying to figure out what to decipher real from fake. So,
yeah, I would.
If you don't mind, you hit the most important point in how AI plays with the creator economy, because, like you said, people aren't going to know how to differentiate deepfakes from real, and that's the most important point. And the government doesn't even have now they're starting, but barely, any regulation. I'm sure many of you have gotten videos of celebrities on your phones that are deepfake. And you said a very important point, so that's why I think that it's important for creators to partner up with talent agencies who know how to protect their name, image, and likeness from being, exploited, And then what we're trying to do is we want to be the official AI twin. We'll never create content with your twin. We want to be the engine. So basically, we want to be if it doesn't come from the Holo twin, it's not official AI. So we're trying to be the blue check mark in the AI space, partnering with talent agencies who have books of talent to kind of protect and make money on their AI instead of people just exploiting it like that. But you said that's the golden point.
Yeah, I would like to piggyback off that. When you think about it, like you say, on the opposite side of that, like what we do at Crowder, right? She's an artist, right? And so when you think about this, when we help this artist have her own platform, her own tech stack, what that means is she has the ability to do all of these features that we see that and she owns the data, she owns the IP, she owns the crowd, she owns the engagement, all of that is hers. So when somebody does come with a deep fake of whatever, a video or a photo or whatnot, if they didn't get it from the horse's mouth, right, then automatically you know that it's not real. Hey, if you want to engage with me, deal with me on my platform. Here's my music, here's my video, here's my fans, here's my social media people. And so now you can control that. We've seen so much, and we just started dealing with this in the entertainment. Crowder, for the last couple of years, we were doing it with a lot of businesses, mainly overseas, politicians, and people of that nature that have crowds. And so one of the first, a good friend of mine's, Keith Sweat, the R&B artist, went to him and, Keith is not from the new generation. He's 67 years old, almost 64 years old. And so I figured if we could take an artist like him and be able to give him his own platform where he can engage with his fans and then really actually make money, because I hear people always saying, oh yeah, I'm on this and I'm doing this, but then you say, show me the check. Nobody wants to pull the check out, right? Nobody has, I don't know if it's embarrassment or they just don't have it, at all. And so to give a quick example, we dropped Keith Sweat's app in the App Store in 3 weeks ago. Okay, the statistics show that, and these statistics just came out. It was like 86% of the apps that's in the App Store, and it's 1.9 million apps in the App Store, don't even get 1,000 downloads. So 80% don't even get 1,000 downloads, right? The rest of the apps above that does good. We dropped Keith's app because he already has the crowd. He went and he did 3,000 downloads, right? His conversion rate, because of his own crowd, right? His conversion rates was 52% of paying customers. So he had 1.5 thousand people paying his subscription model of $4.99. That's $7,500, right? That's real money. That's not somebody saying, hey, market this, and then that's not even including the merch that he sold. That's just his digital content, because we gave him the tool so that people can subscribe by just double clicking, right? Made it simple for them. Oh, I like Keith Sweat. Oh, I want to get this content. Oop, double click. They don't even see the bill come out of there. So these are the kind of things that when you talk about this creator economy, right? That we have to go back to the basics of teaching people how to think and not telling them what to think. And that's been a big problem in society in general. You look at it all around. We don't teach people how to think for themselves anymore. We teach them what we want them to think. And that means you're under the control of what somebody else feel like is happening today. If this person wake up today and say, I feel like eating eggs, I want to tell everybody else to eat eggs, right? Which is crazy when you think about it, that we're now at a point to where we're teaching machines to think and not what to think, but we don't do that with people.
Yeah, we've got a We've got a few minutes left, so maybe just a couple of points each, seeing as we're talking about money now, right? So, we saw with the earlier days, the bigger influencers were getting millions of dollars for just a post. And that market got really saturated. The brands were paying big money, and then eventually they were paying the money for posts, and that didn't really work out. There's about 90% of money that was spent for marketing with influencers that was wasted. It wasn't converting, right? So now we're seeing TikTok Shop, which is directly converting. We're seeing a lot of brands working with people on an ongoing basis. We're seeing a bigger increase in UGC with smaller micro-influencers. So just a couple of points, maybe if we can just, go at whatever, whoever wants to go first, maybe. Where do we think the money is going to come from for the creators and for the businesses? Just so they can actually, where is it UGC? Is it long-standing brands? Is it creators having their own brands? What is the money going to come from? A couple points.
Speaking to Jimmy's point, I think it's really about the micro-economies. And my philosophy is like niche is the new broad, and really being intentional and focused. It's not about going viral. When you go viral, there's not a real connection to that audience. You might have millions of views, but how do you monetize that audience that doesn't connect with you on a deeper level? I think it's really about back to authentic content, creating a two-way conversation with your fans and catering to them in ways that you can actually get them to support you transactionally ongoing, and it's mutually beneficial. I think that's where the future is, and a lot of people run from subscription models, but if you can own the data, you can own the audience, and you can monetize that audience through a two-way communication, I think there's an opportunity there to have a long-standing relationship with that fan base that's not going to go anywhere and isn't going to carry, support you and share a piece of content that they don't even know who the person is that created the content, right? So that's sort of a big takeaway for me.
Yeah, I would agree. Definitely the niche market's going well, and subscription platforms are massive. Obviously, there's Patreon and Fanfics and all these major ones. There's also some more, kinky ones as well, which we know about, but there's a market for that as well. Any other thoughts on the money?
Yeah, I think if you have a loyal following, as in you're actually an influencer that has a loyal following, it doesn't mean you have to have 1 million followers, but if you have 50,000 followers, they're very loyal, then making your own brand, making your own product, or doing an exclusive product launch with a brand that matches you very well is already proven to see really good success. If you're not an influencer, if you're a key opinion consumer, or if you're a good salesperson, now's the opportunity to do videos that can sell, because especially on a platform like TikTok Shop, the algorithm will push your video to more people if you can sell. You don't have to have a following at all. Same thing with live streams. If you can sell, then the platform's making more money, you're making more money, the brand's making more money. You don't have to be an influencer, you just have to be able to sell. So I would just say them two directions.
Right. Okay. Well, we just got the wrap it up mark, guys. But
Same man about to come get it.
I'd like to chip in on just that last point. For me, it's like where your twin can make money for you while you sleep. That's for me where I see it. Where you can be, doing your thing, and then your AI twin can come, your official AI twin, to your point, not like and it can make money on your behalf. For me, that's where you buy your time. And two, that's where brands save money. If you want to fly out Snoop to do like a collab versus get his AI, it's a third of the cost. Snoop is making passive income, the brand's saving money, and then people are engaging in new ways. So it was never possible to talk to Snoop in 30 different languages, but now it is. So I think where your AI makes you money, that's where the future is heading.
beautiful. Well, thank you very much, guys. The $250 billion creator economy.
Thank you to Benny.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.